Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rage, and we are back today with the new Danger Room event here. I'm going to be going through some nodes real quickly just to showcase for you how this is done, guys, as we're progressing, but more importantly, too, there's actually some really good rewards here that we can take advantage of. You can see I'm almost gotten it fully completed, but as I've been experimenting, just having fun with it in the past hour or so here, it's been a really good event, guys. Super fun game mode and very different. There's a lot of freshness to it in the sense that this is the first roguelike kind of game mode that's been released in Marvel Strike Force. Now, kind of said that, guys. Oh, sorry, released a couple weeks back, but this has been a more polished one in my opinion, and now I've actually had time to actually play it, whereas before I was on vacation. So guys, first and foremost, you have to set the difficulty in a way that you're comfortable with. It starts off, though, when you do your first run, you're probably gonna have to do it at a lower setting, difficulty 4, difficulty 5, difficulty 6, somewhere along those lines to get you started, because what you want to be earning essentially are these danger tokens, right? And the big one is right here, guys. When you get enough danger tokens to actually activate number 9 here, being the accursed energy, absolutely massive, as you'll see with the synergy that we're going to be bringing in. I think, in my opinion, right now, Blade and any of the accursed members are probably the most important characters that you can use. If you have them built up, it's going to be very smooth. But that, just for the purpose of this video anyways, I want to show you why Blade is so important for this. But yeah, we can take advantage of this accursed one that costs 300. So you can see, as we add these points up that activate some of these combat tokens here, they're going to be allowing us to actually gain these benefits here, which is why I'm trying to activate all of them. But you also have to make sure, guys, make sure when you're doing this to claim these first 3 ones here as well, because number 3, more accursed, is going to allow you to activate those bonuses for the trait for Blade, Elsa, Bloodstone, Ghost Rider, and so forth. They're going to be gaining these substantial stat increases. Now, if you have Ghost Rider and Elsa built up, they're also going to be benefiting from this, so that's absolutely massive, guys. So I'll just do it here on difficulty, actually, just to streamline this video, I'll do it in difficulty 7 or 8, so you can actually see how smooth it is. But really fun game mode, because the first 5 nodes here, they've actually nerfed it from the previous settings. So what I like to personally do is, because now that we actually have that big one activated for Blade, I'll bring my Blade, and I'll also bring in Hitmonkey. I think that these 2 characters are probably 2 of the most important that you can bring up. If you don't have them leveled up, I highly recommend you guys do, because they are also going to be utilized in Age of X, and guess what? They are from my roster, and obviously you can see there, I pushed them all the way to the max because of the Age of X progression. So you don't have them as high, that's okay. Scale this down to the difficulty that you're going to be comfortable with. But yeah, look at this, guys. We're in difficulty, was it 7? But you should be able to one-shot a couple of these characters at the very beginning, because they've nerfed the first initial nodes here. So these first few nodes, it should be very straightforward to go through it in basic attacks. And you can see right there, getting more of those combat tokens, and you want to be adding this up, because it's going to allow you to not just increase your overall tokens that you can activate before the run, but as well, it's going to accumulate, and that's how you're going to get these bonuses over time. So that's why I wanted to demonstrate. As you're completing these nodes, you can see here, we're going to get these opportunities to get these different kind of buffs along the way. And my goodness, there's some really good ones. Any of the ones that apply bleed, any of the ones that directly benefit the accursed members, the vigilante team that you have, it's gonna be massive, right? So I'll give you an example now why this one's so pivotal. If we activate Blade Special here, every time he takes down an enemy, he's going to be generating 8 billion energy as well. And don't forget, Hitmonkey also does the same thing for himself. So that's why the combination of Blade and Hitmonkey is such a strong combination to get this started, especially when you're in the beginning runs, the beginning difficulties. Look how easy we're getting the combat tokens, right? The runs can go very smooth, very quickly. And then you just go ahead and start claiming some of this, and it starts snowballing, right? And what you want to be going for is, again, if you want to accumulate points, go for the additional nodes here. But I personally like to see how I can build up some additional care packages here, add some characters along the way, and even better, you can actually rent characters. So you can see here, I don't actually have enough points here to rent anybody, so maybe I shouldn't have done that move, but that's okay. I just wanted to showcase for you guys how the overall strategy here. Typically, you see these ones, these elite combat ones, they're really good. But you're going to be up against some more significant enemies. And I just want to showcase for you real quick here why they're so good. If you do go for these double-bladed combat ones, when you do defeat these enemies here, you're going to be getting a lot more of those combat tokens. And that's another great way of how you're going to be adding more to your arsenal. Oops, I didn't see that my Hitmonkey actually had blind. That's okay, because like I said, this is a difficulty that we're comfortable with, just because our characters are so built up. So yeah, we'll go again. Here, use Blade's ultimate, massive attack. It's probably gonna one-shot a lot of these enemies here. no issues whatsoever. But yeah, that's the compounding effect, guys. You really want to be using these characters over and over through the runs, accumulate the combat tokens, and give you more bonuses. And then ideally, to fully complete all the milestones, you do actually need to complete the run on difficulty 10. So that's kind of where you want to get to, right? So unfortunately, up against a pretty good mix of enemies here, because they've got some good crowd controlling aspects. I'm not typically stunned, but in this case, these enemies have some good synergy against. So, and okay, so maybe this is a good way to actually show you here, because of the crowd controlling aspects, we're just gonna back out. And that's what I mean, guys. It's nice in the sense that you can actually reset things if things aren't going your way. You can go back in again and then reset, especially the RNG does line in your favor. This doesn't typically happen often, but seeing as how we're up against a pretty good team here, yeah, it's so yeah, once again, I can't really do much with Hitmonkey there, but we do want to be maybe aiming for some of these characters that can control us. So I'm going to be going for Kahori, use the big ultimate down the middle there. There we go. That should actually put us in a better spot than before. But yeah, having said that, guys, I really like how every time you do this run too, and I've done it a few times now, you're going to get different nodes of enemies. You're going to get different mods. You're going to get different upgrades. Some of them you're just going to completely snowball, and it won't stop whatsoever, right? You can just basically one-shot the majority of these nodes, even on the higher difficulties, and that's kind of the name of the game. You basically just have to go through the RNG and see what's going to work for you and what doesn't. And like I said earlier before, and maybe this is kind of a bad example, because this is a really good combination that's up against only 2 of our allies here. So this might be it. This actually might be it. Even though I am overpowered for these characters, that's why these double combat ones you do have to be careful on. If you don't have enough mods, if you don't have enough characters on your team, which in this case having the 2 here is kind of you know, unfortunately are a little bit of a downfall here. Even with some of the buffs that we activated, we'll see if we can maybe scrape by here, but even with some of the buffs we activated, we're not really getting that opportunity against this mixture of enemies because of the synergy they have. But that's what I mean. You'll see that some fights are going to be easier than others, and then other times you might actually hit a wall where that's okay. The good news is that, like I said, it's about the cumulative factor with the combat tokens that you're working with, and so as long as you're either defeating the nodes or at least doing your best to complete as much as you can, you're always going to be getting more at the end of the day. So thankfully now this is looking like in our favor, but you can see it took a little bit of patience there because of the synergy of the enemies that we're up against. But thankfully we do have the higher gear tier on our side, so we took advantage of that here. But yeah, this was a great example of maybe your team just isn't good enough to face up these enemies because of the synergy that you have. But this is what I want to showcase for you guys. When you do these big ones, look at that. We have 35 of those combat tokens, and that's how you accumulate over time quite easily, right? And then even better is when you're done these ones, you do get some pretty nice little care packages as a result of that as well. So I really like the combination of these things. Now you can see more care packages here. I love these modifiers, and yes, now we can take advantage and bring in one of our key vigilante characters in Silver Sable. And yeah, guys, this is in a nutshell kind of how you basically go through this game mode. So I'll demonstrate for you one more time here, but you can see how quick you have to get through the nodes. Now the one thing to caveat is that you only get the final run score, which is a pretty sizable boost when you fully complete essentially all of the nodes at the very end and the last node, right? So just be mindful of that. You're not going to be getting that big run score until you finish. So that's why you want to be doing a difficulty that you can actually complete it in, because otherwise you're just going to be getting some dinky points here like this right there. Only 400 points. When you finish the final run, that's when that big uptick of points gets added in, and that's why you see the 91,000 there. So from my experience anyways, guys, playing around here a little bit, I do notice that there's obviously some really good care packages. Again, keep an eye out for the ones with bleed. They seem to be very pervasive. I like the monkey barrel one where you can actually have more than one hit monkey based on the number of vigilante characters you got. I like this mysterious boon one on ally basic. Clone that ally. This can only happen once per match. This is a really cool one too. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff to be had here. And then as you accumulate over time, you essentially will make it to the very end here for going through. And actually, oh, right here, I like this one, vigilante crit. That's a really good one. There's another one when you spawn, you inflict all these bleeds. So yeah, there's some really good things that you can do here across the board. So yeah, that's and already right there we already finished up 10 nodes. But that's what I mean. After you finish that section though, it does get significantly harder. So like this area right here, when there are going to be some more gear tier 19, gear tier 20 enemies, that's when it gets more difficult, and that's where you got to be very careful what upgrades you get, because you may not be able to get through all the way, and that's okay. So as long as you make it as far as you can and capitalize on modifiers as much as you can. But you can see here, boom, this is why we love the synergy of this team right now, because Blade is an absolute stud in this game mode. And like I said, because he's classified as an accursed member, if you have other accursed members on your team, you'll definitely be benefiting from that. So just something to be mindful of here. They switch things up a little bit in this danger room, but that's what I like about this game mode being quite fresh. And as well, like I said, a lot more strategy. Oh, that's cool. See that clone right there happening? Very, very cool. So yeah, I really like just the variety that you're getting. You're going to be getting a lot of different gameplay, which is really cool. Each time you do it, it does feel different. And I definitely had some runs where they just completely snowballed. And yeah, it's honestly a good time, guys. Enjoy it for what it is. Take your time with it. Build up the modifiers. And like I said, once you're able to have enough strength to go through difficulty 10, you can even bring up some of these characters, or you can rent some of the ones that are available, and they do have like gear tier 19, gear tier 20 characters available as well. So hopefully this is helpful, guys. Hopefully this is a nice little overview for the danger room here. Didn't make this content before due to my absence and vacation, but yeah, it's super fun, guys. And if there's any more tips and tricks, I'll definitely be making up some follow-up videos. But hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully you can capitalize on these quick little tips, if you will, in terms of helping you to push all the way and ultimately unlocking this one right here. Remember, milestone 12, having those army 20 orb fragments, very, very nice reward there, and obviously a bit of intel, and even the 7th anniversary here of Nightcrawler. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.